I drove over it, my car gonna...
Well, good afternoon, Detroit. So I definitely want to thank the media for coming out here to celebrate with the city today as we celebrate Speed Hump Day. Today we have hit a point where over 10,000 speed humps have been laid down in the city of Detroit. When this program first started back in 2018 as a pilot, no one could have imagined how successful it could be, especially me with my law enforcement background. I was a proponent saying, hold up, I don't know, but the results have resulted in there have been traffic calming, there have been fewer accidents, and as a result, the public has demanded more and more speed humps throughout the city of Detroit. And so we know that they have worked. Traffic studies have shown that on blocks where speed humps have been installed, the average speed is about 20 miles per hour. And according to DPD data, neighborhood traffic accidents are down more than 20%. So when the mayor decided to expand the program, we were overwhelmed with requests from residents, block clubs that all wanted speed humps to be able to address the traffic speeding within their neighborhoods. And so I'll give you a little bit of data as to how it went. So in 2018, we started with 32 locations with the original pilot. In 2019, DPW, the hardworking men and women behind me under the leadership of Ron Brundage, installed 502 locations. And what I can tell you is this: I got so many requests from residents saying, when am I next, when am I next, when am I next? And I would have to promise to say, I'll call Ron and see what he could do. But we were strategic in the way that we went about laying the speed humps. If it was a neighborhood that had high density, if it was a neighborhood where the streets were adjacent to schools, if it was a neighborhood where DPD data showed that it had been a lot of accidents, those were the neighborhoods that were prioritized. In 2020, we jumped up to 1,139 locations. 2021, this team behind me installed over 5,000 speed humps. 2022, 2,805, and to date, they have done 332 for a total installation of 10,187. So, when I talk about the request and the demand from Detroiters, we have had a request thus far of over 22,000 requests for speed humps within their neighborhood. And would you know that today is Wednesday, hump day, so we have a sense of humor as well. And we have Sanders Bumpy Cake behind us as well, just to help us celebrate this day. And so with that, I just want to bring up the leader of the Detroit Public Works and just really want to give him a big round of applause as he steps up, and then also give a shout out to Ray Solomon from the Department of Neighborhoods, because Ray Solomon and Mona Ailey, which this is her district, they had to really fill the request from residents saying, when is my speed hump going to be installed? I want to be next. What can you do to prioritize me? And those were tough requests, but as you can see, we're strategic and methodical as to how we lay speed humps and go about ensuring that we improve the quality of life for Detroiters. So with that, Ron, come on up.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Again, thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. And again, I first want to echo the Deputy Mayor's comments with regards to thanking you all for coming out with us today on this Wednesday hump day as we announced installing over 10,000 speed humps. As the Deputy Mayor indicated, we started this as a pilot program in 2018. And I'll be the first one to share with you, I had no idea at that time that 4 years later, we'd be here talking about installing 10,000 speed humps. But it's important to note that it's really not just about the number. You know, 10,000 is a nice even number, but what it really represents are the thousands of blocks throughout neighborhoods throughout the city where we've really been able to slow down traffic and speeding, which was really an issue. And actually during the pandemic, we really saw heights of speeding occurring through our neighborhood that had never existed before. So the feedback that we've got from the residents has been overwhelmingly positive, as the Deputy Mayor indicated. Really the only complaint that we generally get is, when are we going to get to their block? When are we going to be next? because everybody really sees how impactful it's truly been in terms of slowing down speeding throughout all of our neighborhoods throughout the city. I hope you guys are really getting a good image of the folks behind me, because I'm really just here talking about what they've actually accomplished over the last 4 years. Led by James Hannick, who's our Complete Streets Deputy Director. You're going to hear from him in a minute. But also Pat Henderson in our Street Maintenance Division. We actually deployed 2 different formats for installing speed humps over the last 4 years. We use our city crews to install speed cushions, and we also use contractors to install the asphalt speed humps, such as the ones that you're going to see installed today. Our city engineering crew, again led by Pat Henderson, was responsible for installing well over 1,000 speed cushions on their own. And our city engineering division, led by Richard Doherty and Amir Masood, have been responsible for ensuring that our contractors installed all of the speed humps in a manner that was consistent with what we require. But again, I just want to again take the opportunity to thank you guys for all coming out on this hump day. We're really excited about the effect that these speed humps have had on our neighborhoods over the last 4 years. So thank you. And I want to bring up James Hannick, our Complete Streets Deputy Director.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here today to celebrate the installation of our 10,000th speed hump as part of our traffic calming program. I echo the Deputy Mayor and Director Brundage in thanking the many, many people who made today possible and are delivering a wildly successful program. While I can't name everyone, I do really want to thank all the dedicated DPW staff from our Traffic Engineering Division, our City Engineering Division, our Street Maintenance Division, among others, who have spent countless hours evaluating, surveying, monitoring, installing, and even repairing speed humps as part of this monumental effort. Your commitment to safety of our community does not go unnoticed. I'd also like to add just a special thank you to the residents of Detroit who've stepped up and really participated in this program. You are ultimately the traffic safety experts and that experience the effects of speeding and reckless driving every day. We simply would not be here today without you responding to the call to action and this opportunity. As the father of a toddler, this moment is deeply personal to me. Every speed hump that we installed is a commitment to creating a city where our children can grow safely and walk to school and play in their neighborhoods without fear. Many of us can remember the days when we could play in the street and not be afraid in our own front yards. And today we can confidently say that traffic calming interventions like these are making a real tangible difference. Today we can The data are encouraging, as we mentioned. Between 2020 and 2022, we witnessed a 22% reduction in the number of crashes on residential streets. And specifically looking at within the speed humps that were installed on streets in 2021, the impact is even more pronounced in that we saw a 36% reduction. So I just want to add that the installation of the 10,000 speed hump is a real significant achievement, but it's not the end. We are committed to realizing safe transportation network that enhances the overall quality for Detroit residents. And again, to the DPW staff, the city employees, and residents, thank you for your commitment. Detroit, let's make our streets safe, one speed hump at a time. Thank you.
Next week, we wanted to bring up a couple residents and let you guys hear from them directly so that they can kind of talk about their personal experiences and what they feel the speed humps have accomplished. What? No? Bennett?
Oh, sorry.
And while he's taking that important phone call, there's one person that I forgot to acknowledge, Mr. Ahmad Fawaz from our Traffic Engineering Division. He's really the person that there's so much that occurs, to ensure there's so much coordination that has to occur to ensure that this is done in a manner that it really doesn't inconvenience our residents. And Ahmad Fawaz was the person that was really responsible for all of those different nuances and coordinating everything in a manner to ensure that everything was done appropriately. So I think with that, I think Mr. Bennett is off the phone, so we're going to bring him back up. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Bennett.
Good afternoon. I'm honored to be the designer of the speed humps in the city of Detroit, and see like we managed to achieve the completion for the installation of 10,000 speed humps in the city, and make our street and safe for the children and for the family to have better life in the city of Detroit. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ahmad. All right, Mr. Bennett.
Mr. Bennett.
Hello, how you doing, everyone? I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the City of Detroit, the Deputy Mayor, our City Council members, Ali, appreciate it. On behalf of Waco, the cry came out in our community about we need to do something about the traffic and to slow it down in our area. And Detroit has answered that call. The call came at a time when no one seen the sight of what we were going to do. And they decided that we came up with an idea of the speed humps and things like that to be implemented in the District 7 Warren Avenue area. And I want to say it's been a job well done based off of my residents that lives around in our area who spoke to me about it. And I want to say if we continue on with this work, I think in the long run it's going to be a success 100%. So I want to say thank you all to the City of Detroit. Thank you.
I don't know if there are any questions or.
It feels really good, and then just to really see the results. And you know, when you start a program, you know you got it right when the citizens, when the people that you serve, they don't have buyer's remorse. We're not getting calls saying, hey, take our speed humps back up. And so the only thing we have is just a request for more and more. And so we're able to answer that call. The men and women behind me, they're doing an excellent job. And so to just the whole team, everybody involved, to just come up with a inclusive solution that's really working for Detroiters. Their neighborhood district managers. Ron Brundage, how do you get your request in?
Yeah, I missed the question. What was
How
the
do you
question?
make a request to get a speed hump?
Oh, okay. So we have an online form that residents can fill out. So they just submit the online application, and then basically includes basic information about their name, address.
Whoa.
Oh, just kidding. And the location, and then we evaluate to make sure it's a valid request. It needs to be a residential classified street, and then it can't be a fire route or a major arterial or collector, but we do an analysis and then make sure that it's appropriate for the program, and then we program it for future contracts. So we did, the question was, what sort of data do we have in terms of reducing speeding? We didn't, because of the volume of speed humps that we were installing and implementing, we didn't do all before data collection in terms of speed. We just know that it does reduce speeding, and so I think the operational speed, maybe Ahmad from traffic engineering could validate, brings it down to under 20 miles per hour when you go over the speed hump. So we know that by design, they're effective. So we've been evaluating in terms of the crashes, and we can definitively say that the number of crashes on residential streets is going down, and we see that as a direct correlation to the speed humps being installed. 20% reduction in crashes? Correct. And just looking at a cross section, the year that we installed the most speed humps, so in 2021, we looked at 2020 data and 2022 data, and the number of crashes on those specific streets went down 36%.
Now we're gonna actually see the speed hump installed.
And then I don't know if anybody's going to eat any of that bumpy cake, but it's over there too. Okay?
Yeah, yeah. So, and then afterwards, we will have
likewise,
bumpy
thank you.
cake. I have one for
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I didn't know if they knew what the